I'm reminded about a story that I tell in my latest book, Unwoke: How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America. And the last chapter in the book concerns China. And I open the chapter by talking about sitting down with the Chinese ambassador to the United States. And this was a really creepy meeting. I don't regularly meet with Chinese government officials. I despise communists. The Chinese ambassador, who later became the Chinese foreign minister, asked to meet with me. And I wrestled with what to do, and I decided, okay, I'm going to take the meeting. Now, I'll tell you, when I took the meeting, I did not take it in my office because, frankly, I didn't trust allowing him in my office. I didn't know if he'd bring in listening equipment. I don't trust the Chinese. Chinese people are great. I don't trust the Chinese government that are communist and they're murderers and they're liars and they're abusive. So instead, I took the meeting in a room in a Senate building that was far away from my office. And I sat there, and the Chinese ambassador, I think he was expecting me to be apologetic. He read all sorts of negative comments I'd made about China, and he was expecting me to apologize. And I said, well, the reason I said you're lying, murderous, torturing, evil bastards is because you're lying, murderous, torturous, evil bastards. And I'll stop saying that when you stop lying, you stop murdering, you stop torturing, and you stop being evil. And he truly didn't know what to say. But the reason I draw that analogy is I called him out for genocide. Over 1 million Uyghurs are in concentration camps in China right now. And I called him out on it, and he said, no. You are mistaken. Those are not concentration camps. You see, these people refuse to acknowledge the legitimacy of the Chinese Communist government. So they're obviously mentally ill. So we have put them in facilities to give them treatment to help correct their mental illness. And I got to say, Ben, the creepiest thing as he's relaying this was the absolute calm with which he described this. It was, there are fairly few moments in my time in public office that I felt like really the presence of evil.
Yeah.
And Hannah Arendt wrote about the banality of evil, about how Nazis, they weren't all just comic book villains like, the Joker and Batman. That many of them were ordinary people. They were people who were bakers or shoemakers or plumbers or electricians, people who were regular people who became horrible mass murderers and torturers. And what was so eerie about it was the utter calm because of his political indoctrination, in which he said, if you disagree with the government, you are obviously mentally ill. And we are going to put you in a camp to treat you, to cure you of that illness. I got to say, that same approach is the approach of the leftists. And so what do? They accuse conservatives of wanting to put them in camps, which is an utter lie. And there's no one on the conservative side, because that is not something you hear conservatives say, but it is something that leftists talk about.